Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for another Journaling on a Budget starting from scratch. Today we are going to make washi tape, and I love the medical masking tape the best for washi tape because it's very see-through, like a lot of your washi tapes are, and or the original ones. And it's a paper tape, which is what washi tape I believe is a paper tape. So we're going to use our medical paper tape, and the way that I do it is that I do have a piece of a Walmart bag here. And I will tell you, if you use the side that doesn't have any writing on it, it's a lot easier to see your pattern. Because the first set I did when I was just, playing with it and sampling it and everything, that first set, I did it on the side that said Walmart. It's hard to see your pattern and to see your color and stuff. So use the white side of your Walmart bag if you have one. And then I just fold it over the tape here so that I have something to get a hold of once I put it on the plastic, because it does stick to the plastic quite well. So I want to be able to peel it off when I'm ready to use it. The other end it doesn't matter because I'm going to peel it that way. So I'm just going to take a length of the paper tape and just stick it on my Walmart bag fairly close to the one above it, with just a little gap between them so that you don't accidentally stick them together. But you don't want a big gap because you're going to just paint the whole thing all at once, and so you don't want to waste a bunch of your paint between the gaps of the tape. And then I'm just going to fold this over so that I don't have to find the end when I'm ready to use it again. And so I just have what I have, 1, 2, 3. I have 6 pieces of tape here, so that'll give me 6 pieces of washi tape. I went ahead and laid out my colors, all of the little colors that I got from the Dollar Tree when I started this series. And so the way that I start is just get some color and spread it around. Now these paints are very, very translucent. So it just kind of depends on the look you're going for. The nice thing about the translucent paints is the fact that whatever you're going to put it on, you see what's underneath because the paint is so translucent. So that's a really nice thing. I like that fact. And so then you just go ahead and you just put your colors around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Remember that these are all separate strips of tape. So if you're trying to do some kind of pretty pattern, remember that when you peel that piece of tape off, it's only that wide. So there is no real trying to get a pattern or whatever. Just try and get your colors, a little bit of color everywhere. Make sure that like each one maybe gets a color, or maybe there's a color you don't want on everyone. So like our book is got a lot of green and a lot of blue, and so maybe I want to do like a few of these strips with maybe just mostly green and blues, and then do the brighter colors on the others in case I figure out that I really don't care for like maybe the orange or the pink or something in my book. So now there's all of my dark blue. So then I'm just going to go to another color. And so I've got some light blue. Oh, and the light blue is very, very light. And so it's not showing up hardly at all. But maybe I'll just go over top of some of the darker blue to blend back maybe some of those really darker spots. Might help. And just put a little bit here and there. And there we go. That's all the blue. And then we'll go for the green. And I know that this one is very light. So maybe I don't want to like spread it out as much. Just go ahead and like pounce it on there and kind of leave it, because it's the more I pounce on it, the lighter it gets, I guess is what I want to say. So let's take these top ones and maybe just do those mostly in green and blue. And I am out of the green that I put out. So now maybe what I'm going to try and do is take my darker blue sponge and grab up a little bit of the yellow and pounce that together where the blue was. That'll kind of get the blue that's on my sponge and the yellow mixed together to give me another form of green. And if you don't like the lines from the squareness, you can do it like this and then pounce it, and you don't get as distinct of a line. And try that again, get a little bit more yellow and mix it where the blue was. Squish some of that blue out of the sponge. Okay, now my top three are pretty much just blue and green, and I'm not going to put any of the other colors up there because then I know that those three strips are going to work really well, or hopefully they will. And I'm going to put some of this down here too because I don't want it down here. I just don't want the pink, the yellow, and the orange up there in case they don't go in my book. Then maybe I'll use these on tags for something or something else. So there we go. And then we're just going to have some of the pink. And again, I'm going to just put this down here on the bottom. Now the pink is really super light. Just kind of spread it around down here. And actually, I put this black piece of paper behind here to so that you could kind of see the tape. But I wasn't going right to the end of my tape. So I do want to make sure that I get some color out there. I don't want to waste that last inch. I'm going to come back in and pick up a little bit of these. Give that a really hard press. It's a sponge, so there is some color in there. I know it. And I'm going to kind of there. Before this sponge dried, I just wanted to fill in any spots that I thought I needed a little bit of filling on. There we go. Alrighty, and then we just have our orange and yellow left, which we're going to put down here. Again, very translucent. So if I put it on kind of heavy, now I could add a little bit of our white acrylic paint to this to make it not as translucent, because acrylic paint is opaque, which means it's not easy to see through. Well, really, it kind of means it's not see-through, actually, but sometimes you still can. So, and I want to be careful not to make mud. So there's my orange, and finally, let's get some of this nice bright yellow on here. And there we go. Now you're just going to set that aside to let it dry. And while we're letting that dry, I thought we would make, because this is pretty, and let me peel one off so you can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like, and if you were to, let's see here. If you were to put it on your page where there was something underneath, I'm trying not to let go completely. See, you can see through it. So see, that's really, really cool. I love that. That's what I love about the paper tape. And I like the transparent paints too, just for that reason. But let's try and see if we can get this back down again. Oh, I folded that in right there. All right, there we go. Now, normally I would not pull these up like that when they are wet, because the paint that's on the plastic is still wet, and that could get on the back of my tape when I put it back down. So, and make it not as sticky. But there we go. So that is what that looks like. And I really like the way that that looks. But sometimes you don't just want some color. Sometimes you want a bit of pattern. So if you want some pattern, what are you going to do? You're going to stamp it. And since I didn't buy any stamps for this series, I'm just going to make a few really quick that I can use to stamp on there, and then I can use marker, or I could use the white paint because those are translucent colors. The white paint would show up kind of coolly. And we're going to use our fun foam that we got at Walmart. And I think I'll just cut a strip about that big. Those washi tapes are not very big, so I don't want great big huge stamps, although I could, because you can go across the whole thing, and then when you peel them apart, you get some very interesting patterns. So I think maybe I'll just do a couple of hearts. So I'm just going to take my fun foam and fold it in half just like you would. To make any other heart, or at least that's the way I make them, because I can't freehand them at all. Alrighty. I do need to just clean this up just a little bit. It's very pointy there. And so there we go. There's a heart. And I think I'll put one more on there. And then you can just randomly stamp these around on your washi tape, just around on that whole sheet. Well, this one did not turn out very good, I can tell you right now before I even open it, so I'm going to have to fix that for sure. I guess I should have just tried doing it freehand. But yeah, and then the fun thing to do is to stamp them around on your washi and then doodle around on the different places that are stamped, either with a black pen or a black marker or a white marker. And white markers and white pens are kind of expensive, but at the Dollar Tree they have white correction pens, like the old correction fluid that they used to have a long time ago when you used typewriters. But those correction pens work really nice as a white pen. So if you don't have a white pen and you want to buy one, don't go out and spend $5. Because really, I've had a few different ones of the white pens, and some of them might be better than others, but I've never found a really, really good one. I think I had one that I really liked, and I think I got it at a garage sale, so I couldn't, like, it didn't even have, and it didn't have a name on it. Now you can also use something like this as a stamp and glue that onto your paper. You could do triangles. Just like this, and put those on your paper. Let's do this little piece of cardboard here, and then all you do is you just glue them right onto your cardboard, however you may want them. Maybe put this one this way. And then they'll just be, and then you're going to stamp them randomly. I'm going to cut out one more heart and glue these on here. Let them sit for a little bit till they dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I've glued them on. Let them sit in a heavy book for a little while. Not as long as I really probably should have, but hopefully long enough that they don't come off when I use them to stamp. Now, what we're going to do before we stamp with them is we're going to turn them over, and we're going to put a handle on them. Let me take off this little bit. And what you do to put a handle on it is you just take a piece of tape, any kind of tape, and then you're going to fold it in the middle like this, keeping your wings out at the side, and put those wings on the board. And then just press that down really good. And now you have this little piece here for your handle so that you can stamp them and pick them up without having to try and get them like this. Sometimes it won't make a difference, but sometimes you might have, like if you're stamping more than one and you're using paint, you've stamped up here, you put this down here, you go to pick it up, and now you've smeared where you already stamped your paint. So it's always best to remember to put a handle on them. And if you have a really long one, you can put 2 handles on it. You've seen that with some of the other ones that we've done here. Put this on here so that I don't lose the end of my tape. And we'll put the handle on this one. And I think I'm going to leave the 3 that I did in green and blue. I think I'm going to leave those 3 plain right now because I'm not exactly sure like what I want to do with them. So for now I'll leave them plain because I'm a little bit short on paint. And so we're going to do these 3 bottom ones right here. We'll put a little bit of stamping on there. So I thought maybe we would color the hearts with some red and put some red on there and hope that it looks okay. Hope it's not too dark. Now I did a sample one and I made another stamp with some little squares on it, and the stamping on this tape and this paint for that one came out quite light, so this might come out very light. We will find out. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and then the lady that told me to do this said breathe on it, and then we're going to stamp. I'm going to find those 3 areas, give them a press, let them sit there for just a second to let the ink go from the stamp to whatever you're stamping. And there we go. We have 3 hearts. Let's do that again. I picked up a little bit of my paint. The paint's probably not super dry. Okay. And now let's put it over here. Now I put my hearts all the same way. Sometimes I mix things up and put them all different ways like I did here. But with the hearts I did them the same way. I figured if I want them to turn, if I want to turn them, I can just turn my stamp. And if I want them to stamp sideways or upside down, let's see if we can get a second stamp out of this. And again, let it sit there. Give whatever ink is left on that stamp, give it a chance to soak onto the tape. We did. Well, what the heck? Let's see if we can get a third. And there we go, a little bit. So that's pretty cool. And then I thought maybe some blue. We'll do some blue triangles. And let's say I really don't want 4. I stamped a lot with the hearts and I don't have a lot of room left. I'll just maybe pick 2. There we go. Breathe on it a little bit and maybe put those 2 right there. Hopefully I didn't stamp on top of my heart. I wasn't paying any attention. Give it a chance to soak in. There we go. Let's see if we can restamp it right here. And there we go. So getting a little bit light, so I don't think I'd want to, I think I'll color it one more time. And maybe put them right there. Give it a chance to soak in. And another one right over here. just like that. Cool. I like the way that that turned out. And now see how this triangle right here is on this one and this one. When we take our tape off, we're only going to get this much of the triangle on this piece of tape and that much of the triangle on that piece of tape. So the heart's actually, oh, this heart is split in half. And then what you could do is you can take a pen. Let's see if a pen will work, especially since the paint's not completely dry, but I'm going to come right down here in the corner and see. And it kind of looks like it's going to work. So let's try, let's go right here. So we can just take our pen, put a messy lines around there, and then that's what it looks like. And you can put some little dots in there if you want to. And then do the next one. And you can do them really just tracing exactly, or just do them very messy. Being careful where your tape comes together, not to catch the edge of your tape. Maybe put a few little dots on there. And a few little dots on this one, since that's what we did. And there we go. So that's what you can do to dress it up a little bit. You can put little, little X's or stars here and there on your tape with your pen. And if your pen kind of runs out of ink, you can come over here and try and get it started again. It doesn't want to, so we're just going to stop right there. And you can also use your markers to go in there. And maybe draw around your heart like that. Maybe put a little arrow through it. Just like that. So they look cute, and I like the way that this washi tape turns out. Then in order to store it, the way that I store it, and this was another suggestion from a subscriber a long time ago when I made washi tape, and I was holding it together with paper clips. They said roll it up. Oops, let's do this part first. Take a paper towel roll and cut it in half. Like that. And then roll up your washi tape. You got the plastic on the back here, so it's not going to stick to itself or anything. And then just take your roll, put it inside your paper towel, and that then holds it. You could put a rubber band around that if you want to, but you don't have to. That just holds it so that you have a place to store it and it won't get ruined. Now this is the one that I did. I did this one already, and this is the one where I was telling you, see where it says Walmart and has all the writing on it? It makes it hard to see your pattern. And so this one I stamped with this little stamp that I made. And I just cut a straight line of the fun foam, and then just cut little squares. And then I just went ahead and I did mark a grid so that they were even, and put those on there, colored them 2 different colors, and they came out like this. Now they came out a little bit lighter, and the paint also was a little bit lighter because I didn't put as much on there. So, but what can you do with your washi tape? Well, I thought that we would go ahead, and if I had peeled this one off earlier and it ripped a piece of my bag off, if that happens, you can just get the part where the bag, and then pull the bag off. It will come off. So I'm going to do this. And then I thought that maybe, since we've got our first page done here, let me close this back up so I don't get it all over the place. I thought maybe it might look nice right here on our first page. Just a little something on this edge. So I can just line that up. I've got my little squares on there in a line. I'm going to turn it this way. And I don't want to waste too much of my tape, so I'm going to come right down to, okay, my little squares show me that I'm lined up straight. You could put little pencil marks on your paper so that you can see where straight is. Now, before I fold it in half, I'm going to cut this larger piece off, because I don't want to waste that. And then I'm just going to stick it right back there on my plastic. Press that down. And then fold it over. And there we go. Now I'll trim it nice and straight here. And there we go. Now we have a little edge on our page. I don't like that little bit sticky. Oh, it doesn't matter. It's going to come out in another spot anyways. Put this in here and see what it looks like. It's still sticking out. I'm going to get rid of that little bit of paper right there. So there we go. Now we've got a little bit more interest. And I like that. The edge of that page I thought was a little bit plain. Now, if you don't like it going over top of here, you could just trim that off if you wanted to. But I like the way that, you know, you press that down and you can see those flowers right through the tape. And so I think that's really cool. I like actually to have something that's under my tape that you can see that that tape is that see-through. So there we go. So that's how you use your washi tape, and you can make them any different way. Here I had a plain piece that I had just put the excess stamping off on. And so then I just drew some little lines around there, put some little X's on top. Maybe I'll need those, maybe I won't. They might look cute kind of on a ticket. So, but I do like the way that these turn out. I love it with the paper tape because it makes it nice and see-through, which just gives you a little bit of added interest. So there we go. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. If you have some place that you could share this video, that would be great. That helps my channel. Thanks again, and I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.